Hey y'all, guess what's going on right now? We're going to go ahead and put a grade two and a feedback for Jennifer, who does really slick presentations. Check this out. Check out this little presentation here.
Hey guys, this is Jennifer Mencias again with my video. I did sports scores. I chose soccer. I hope you enjoy it. My first one was measures of dispersion. This helps find out how spread out the data values are around the central value. Enables researchers to describe the variability of samples under investigations. These measures of dispersion are more appropriate for specific levels of dispersion. Measures of dispersion include range, variance, standard deviation, and interquartile range. This is what we're learning about. What I'm going to be working on, it focuses on range. Range is suitable for analyzing the dispersion of normal level data. This
is not a source of embarrassment or anything, but she doesn't mean dispersion, she means dispersion. That's all. It's a common mistake. No big deal.
Data set. If you can see in my little chart right there, I did all the soccer teams, Manchester City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal, Manchester United, Wolves, Warrington, Leicester City, and West Ham. I chose this because my husband's a big soccer fan, so we watch a lot of it. So the data set represents the top 10 English Premier Leagues. That's the EPL teams in 2018-2019 season. The data is a record of goals scored against other teams throughout the season. N is the number of items in a data set. In this case, N is 10. That's how many teams I chose. That shows in figure 1. The 10 items are a sample of the population of the English Premier team, EPL teams. A sample is a group of items selected from a larger number of things or individuals. Report range. I did my thing on range. Range is the difference between the highest and the lowest values in a data set. It is the simplest measure of spread. The range of data sets in figure 1 is 48. 95 minus 47 equals 48. The range of the data denotes that there is a huge variation in the goals scored by the top 10 teams in the English Premier League. The highest number of goals scored by a team is 95, and the least number of goals scored by a team is 47, which gives us the range of 48. That's how I got 48 is in. Critical values of data set. This is my figure number 2. The minimum value is the lowest score in the data set. Quartile 1, Q1, is the first quartile, seen in figure 2. It shows 25% of the values below. The median is the middle score. Quartile 3, Q3, is the third quartile. It depicts 25% of the values about it. Max value is the highest score in the data set. So on my figure 2, you can see quartile 1 is 41.75. My minimum value is 47. My median is 64. Quartile 3 is 77, and my max value is 95. Interquartile range summarizes the data set with outliners. It is the difference between the upper and the lower quartiles. Measures dispersion around the median, Q3 minus Q1. From the table in the previous slide, figure 3, you can see that the following can be observed. The first quartile is 51.75. Let's go back, and that's my quartile 1. This implies that 25% of the 10 teams had 51.75 goals or less. The median is 64, implying that of the 10 teams, half of them scored 64 goals and above, while the other half scored 64 goals or less. The third quartile is 77, which denotes that 25% of the English Premier teams scored 77 goals and above. I did a box plot. We haven't gone over it, but I kind of researched it a little bit. A box plot is a method for graphically depicting groups of data through their quartiles. The box is an adequate representation of the interquartile range, as shown in the next slide. Here's my figure 3. I put all of the scores in, the ranges, and 65.6 was the middle. The box plot provides a visual representation of the lowest value, the first quartile, the median, the third quartile, and the highest value. Let me go back to that chart. So those are all your numbers that we just discussed in my next slide. And you can see where it ranges and where it fits on my box plot. The solid line in the box indicates the center of disposition. That's the solid little gray, brown. The height of the box reflects the interquartile range. So 95 and 47. The length of the horizontal lines outside the box is the range of disposition of goals scored by the EPL teams. The fact that the box is not at the center of the range means the disposition of the goals scored by the EPL teams is skewed. The box is closer to the lower quartile, meaning that most teams had lower goal scores. Manchester City is an outlier, having scored an extremely high number of goals. See how it's closer? The brown box is closer to 47 than it is 95. Like I stated, that just shows that less goals were scored than more. Implications of range and interquartile range on sociological research. Range and interquartile range are significant in the interpretation of sociological research. Range demonstrates the extent of disposition in a data set. Interquartile range can be used to identify outliers when measuring the content of tendency. Presence of outliers highlights a sociological phenomenon that could be examined. They also help in determining the variation in individual behavior. All right, guys, this is my research, my references, where I got all the information. I hope you enjoyed my video, and I hope it was very informative. Thank you so much.
Actually, I did enjoy that. It was great. And by the way, that is a
Hey guys, this is Jennifer.
Sorry. That was really a good presentation. In fact, I get the feeling that if my boss finds out about that presentation, somebody else is going to get my job. Just a minute. That's my boss calling now. Yeah. No, I'm actually smarter than my students. No, I know she did a great job. Okay, just give me one more chance. Okay. Boy, man, she did a good job on that. That was well done, Jennifer. Really nice. There's a couple of things there. Number one, the term is skewed. It's not skewed, it's skewed. That might be a language error, who knows. And then, of course, there's always the notion that, when you've got scores, and it was cool that you guys just come up with this data out of plain air, that you're going to find some variability in there, and that's what the whole dispersion is all about. So thank you, Jennifer, for that wonderful contribution to our learning, and I'll see you guys next video. Take it easy. Bye-bye.